this video, you'll learn how to develop role definitions in Dynamics AX 2012. Security model in this version has gone through significant revisions, so the concepts demonstrated here may not apply to earlier versions. By the end of this video, you'll be able to create custom privileges, duties, and roles, secure entry points like menu item, and finally, customize existing roles. But before that, let's look at the role-based security concepts. As you know, the security model in AX 2012 is a complete overhaul compared to 2009. It now uses role-based pattern to configure user access levels. At a high level, the model is broken out into 4 artifacts: permissions, privileges, duties, and roles. Permissions are a set of base objects with required access level, whereas privileges is a group of entry points and its corresponding access rights. As you can see, there are thousands of permissions and privileges that are shipped out of the box, but managing these will be very tedious. So those items are rolled up to manageable number of duties and roles. You can think duties as a set of privileges that are required for a job function, like asset approve and asset maintain. And finally on top are a set of roles. Each role are a group of duties for a job function, like an accounting controller or an asset manager. And depending on the job function, each user is assigned to one or many roles to provide access to different parts of the AX. These default security items are just a starting point, and customizations are expected. So let's look at how we can create and customize some of the items. Let's start over with Dynamics AX Rich Client. Let's say we're interested in securing a menu item inside Fixed Asset Menu and Fixed Asset Menu Item. Go over to the AOT tool. In the AOT tool, you'll notice there is an object group called Security. This is what we are interested in. It contains privileges, duties, roles, and permissions. Let's first find the menu item called Fixed Asset that we would like to secure. Go to Menus, Fixed Assets, Common, Fixed Assets, and the menu item Fixed Assets. If you notice, the actual name of the menu item is Asset Table List Page. This is what we need to secure with a privilege. Now let's go over to the security item. Click Privileges, and to create a new privilege, right-click New Privilege. We'll call this Demo List Page View, since we'll only be providing read access to it. It is recommended that you follow AX naming guidelines for naming privileges, duties, and custom roles. For label, we'll add the same, and for description, let's call it Privilege for Asset Table List Page. Save this. Expand Demo Asset Table List View. Right-click on Entry Points. Click New Entry Point. From our earlier observation, we know the object type is Menu Item Display, and the object name we want to secure is Asset Table List Page. We'll call this entry point name Asset Table List Page as well. And the access level we want is Read, since this privilege allows only view permissions. Go ahead and save it. Now you have a privilege. However, this privilege is not tied to any roles or duties. So the second thing we need to do is create a new role and assign the privilege to it. Expand Roles, right-click, New Role. We'll call this Demo Asset Manager. Copy the name, put the same in the label, and put a description for the role. Click Save. Now expand the Demo Asset Manager. Right-click on Privileges and New Privilege. The privilege we want is called Demo Asset Table List View, and click Save. Now you have a role called Demo Asset Manager with a privilege Demo Asset Table List View that secures menu item called Asset Table List Page. Now let's see this role in action. Let's go over to the Rich client. Since I'm already logged in as an administrator, I can manage users. So let's go to System Administration, Users, and it displays a list of users. For this example, I'll use MBS User 2, Edit, Assign Role, and the role we are interested in is Demo Asset Manager. Click OK, and save this. Now let's log in as that MBS User 2. When the client opens, you'll notice that only menu I have access to is Fixed Assets and Fixed Asset menu item. If I open it, you'll again notice that I can view list of fixed assets in the page. However, I do not have ability to edit or delete this particular item. Since we only provided view permissions, that is the only thing allowed in this particular form. Now let's go back to the AOT tool. This time, we'll assign a new privilege to the role, and this privilege will be out-of-box asset table maintain privilege. This particular privilege already has permission to edit all items in the fixed asset table. Let's go to Privileges, Asset Table Maintain. Here you'll notice that it already has permissions to do table edit, view table details, and view table list page. Since we assigned it, let's go back in and log in as MBS User 2 again. This time you'll notice that there are a lot more menu items than it previously had. So if we click on Fixed Assets again, there's our list page. This time it also has permission to edit. So that's how you create a new role, assign existing privilege, or create a new privilege. And last thing I'd like to show you is nesting sub-role within an existing role. So let's go back to the roles. Let's take our example of Demo Asset Manager. For this example, I'll use existing FM Manager role and assign it to Demo Asset Manager. There's multiple ways you can do this. You can either drag and drop the existing role or right-click on sub-role and create a new sub-role. Save this. Let's go back to the Rich client again, close this, and log in as MBS User 2. This time, in addition to Fixed Asset menu, also notice the Fleet Management menu in the page. And this menu item was secured by FM Manager role, which is now a sub-role of Asset Manager. Hope this was useful. Thank you for watching.